Hi everyone, this is Toyba from Toyslab Creations. Today I'm going to be making this lovely cowl here with this lovely pom-pom edging. For this project I'm going to be needing 6.0 mm hook, worsted weight yarn, and then stitch markers. So to start, I'm going to make a slip knot and then chain 103. So go ahead and make your 103 chains, and I'll join you when I'm through with my chains. So I've chained 103. So for row 1 now, I'm going to skip the first chain from the hook, and into the second chain from the hook I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to mark my first stitch, and then into the next stitch I'm going to make a half double crochet. Now I'll keep alternating that: a slip stitch in the next, a half double crochet in the next stitch. I will keep repeating that all the way across. So the last stitch of the row should be a half double crochet, and at the end of the row I should have a total of 102 stitches. So just go ahead and do that, and I will join you at the end of row 1. So I'm about to finish row 1. I have 2 chains left. The last stitch I made is a half double crochet, so the next one will be a slip stitch, and then I'll finish the row with a half double crochet into the last chain. So moving on to row 2 now, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. I'm going to be starting each row with a slip stitch. So my first stitch will be a slip stitch. I'm going to mark my first stitch, and then into the next stitch I'm going to make a half double crochet, and I'll keep alternating like that at the end of the row. So a slip stitch in the next stitch, a half double crochet in the next. So we are just going to start each row with a slip stitch and end each row with a half double crochet. So I'll just continue like this to the end of row 2, and I'll join you when I'm through with row 2. Just go ahead and follow the instruction on the screen. I've made it to the end of row 2, and my last stitch is a half double crochet. So row 2 is the repeat row, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep repeating row 2 till I get to row 32. So let me just start row 3 now. Chain 1, turn, make a slip stitch in the first stitch, I'll mark my stitch, then make a half double crochet in the next stitch, and keep repeating that all the way across, and the last stitch of the row will be a half double crochet. So I'll just keep repeating that. I'll keep repeating row 2 till I get to row 32, and I'll join you when I'm through with row 32. I've made it to row 32. That's what I have so far. So the next thing to do now is to fold. So to do that, I'll go back to the first row here, and then I'll count 32 stitches up to this point, and I've marked my 32nd stitch here, and I'll do the same thing from the other end of the first row of our project. Then count 32 stitches, and I've marked my 32nd stitch from this end too. So now I'm going to fold my cowl. I'm going to fold in such a way that the first row, this part of the first row, this end, and the other end are going to be meeting at the middle. So I'm going to fold like this and like this. So you can see that both ends of the first row are meeting at this point. Now this is the side of that second row, so I'm going to join that to that second stitch here, and the other end of that second row here is going to be joined to this 32nd stitch here, like this. The first both end of the first row are going to be meeting at this point here. You can see that the other end of the 32nd row is meeting with the 32nd stitch of the first row at this point. So you can see how I've folded my cowl now. So the next thing to do now is I'm going to pick up my hook and then join the 32nd stitch here to the last stitch that I made here. I'm going to go into this stitch here now, and then join both together. So I'm going to pull through, chain 1, Then I'm going to make single crochet through both, through the stitch and the side of the 32nd row there. So I'll go back into that stitch, into the side of 32nd row, and then make a single crochet. That's my first stitch, and I'll continue in that manner. I'll make a single crochet into each of these stitches with the side of each row all the way till I get to the pointed part here. So I should have 32 single crochet by the time I get here. I'll make sure I go through both layers, so I'm joining both layers together as I go, and then I'll continue with single crochet through both layers till I get to this end here, the end of the second row here and the 32nd stitch I marked here. I'll make sure I go through both of the layers, so I join them that way. I should have 32 stitches by the time I get to this point, and then I'll continue with single crochets through the remaining stitches. There are 38 stitches in all through this point till I come back to this end. So in all I should have 102 single crochets. So I'll just go ahead and do that off camera, and I'll join you when I'm through with the first row of my edging. So I've gone around, and this is what the cowl looks like now. You can see I've joined the 32 stitches here and the one on this side too. So this is the back, and I'm back to the beginning point. So in all I have 102 single crochets. So I'm going to move on to the next row now, which is the final row of our edging, the second row of our edging. So I've already joined around the slip stitch to the first stitch, so I'm going to start the second round of our edging now. So chain one, then I'll go back into the first stitch and make a single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm going to skip 2 chains, and into the third chain from the hook I'm going to make a double crochet 5 together. So to do that I'm going to yarn over, go into the third chain, yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. I have 2 loops on my hook, so I'm going to repeat that now 4 more times. I'm going to go into the same chain, yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I have 3 loops on my hook. I have 4 loops now. I'm going to do that 2 more times. I have 5 loops on my hook, and for the last time yarn over, I'll insert my hook into the same chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I have 6 loops on my hook now, so I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 6. So I'm going to chain 1, then slip stitch into the same chain, then I'll chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll skip the next 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next stitch, which is the 5th stitch from the last one, I'm going to make a single crochet. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing again, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Skip 2 chains from the hook, and into the third chain from the hook make 5 double crochet, 2 together. So I make double crochet 5 together. So sorry about that. So we make double crochet 5 together into the third chain from the hook. I have 6 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all, chain 1, slip stitch in the same stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next stitch make a single crochet. I'll just keep repeating that over and over. I'll go around and I'll come back to show you how to finish at the end here. I'm about to finish the second row of our edging, which is the last row of our edging. So I've made double crochet 5 together here, I've chained 1 and then slip stitch into the same chain. So I'm going to chain 4 now. Instead of 3, I'm going to chain for 1, 2, 3 and 4 because I have 6 stitches left. So instead of skipping 4, I'm going to skip 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then semi crochet into the last stitch. So that's why I added an extra chain here. That's why I have 4 chains here. So it's, chain 4 here instead of chain 3, and then skip 5 here instead of skipping 4 stitches. So I'm going to go into the last stitch and then make a single crochet. Then I'll finish the round with a slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. And I'll chain 1 and then cut my yarn. So with that, I'm through with my cowl. So you can decide to make it with the with or without the pom-pom edging, and it's also reversible. You can choose whichever side that you want. It's the same on both sides. So this is what it looks like now. I hope you like it. So let me turn it inside out and you see that it's the same thing. You can see, just fold the neckline. So you can see it's the same thing on both sides, so it's reversible. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. The free written patterns on my blog, and you can also find the paid pattern in my Ravelry and Etsy store. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in my next one. Bye.